confusing when you have Navy and Air Force, because people think Navy, water, Air Force, air. But you have pilots in the Navy who fly. It's very confusing. Okay? I'm very, very SBS. Okay, I don't understand. Yeah. And if you listen to the whole thing, the biggest thing going for him is his credibility. Is the fact that he's a high-ranking person. Is the fact that he's not fucking insane. Is the fact that he's incredibly coherent, right? And the consistency and regularity of the things he says, and corroborates with other stories pertaining to his experience and other experiences that are similar. Name tag on back of pants. I understand this to be a military branch joke where you all, give shit to people in the other branches. I understand this. I get it. Okay. Okay. I'll allow it. Okay. So with that said, have you seen or have you heard the JRE that took place earlier this year with Bob Lazar and the same co-person, Jeremy, who gives a shit, the director and whoever the fuck. He was there with Bob Lazar, as well as here with the commander guy. He say truth. Is that the truth? I need truth to show up and confirm or deny that. People tell me about Lazar a lot. Like, in person, IRL, they tell you about Bob Lazar? I don't know who he is. Yeah, I didn't know. So it was very confusing. Not only in this podcast, but in other podcasts, they mention Bob Lazar. I go all the fucking time too. They say, oh, Bob Lazar, right? I was like, oh, I don't know who the fuck that is. So I went and, there's 2 podcasts that I went back to watch. One of which was the one with Bob Lazar. It was pretty good. Less believable. Great, like, the thing... It's... Doesn't matter who it is, we have to take their word for it. Some instances have more believability. They have more information. They have more proof. Coast to coast cable. The thing with Bob Lazar is he doesn't come off as a nut, which is one of the things they attribute him most with. It's like he's not a fucking crazy man. He's not just spewing off nonsense just constantly, He's not twitching like a fucking freak. He says everything, very calmly, and he comes off as a regular guy, like he actually knows what he's talking about. He doesn't. Here's the main difference. Okay, main difference is his background, what he's done, what he's been proven to have done. Okay, government, military type shit. That still holds weight. Okay? It's just the things are believable because we can't comprehend them. That's what makes them the most unbelievable, is because it's what he's talking about is things that we can't comprehend. Those of us who live in a society, we can't comprehend it because to us it doesn't exist. Right? That's what makes it unbelievable. So the ideas are unbelievable, but he's not necessarily unbelievable. Does that make sense? On the flip side of that, you take someone who you actually know, okay? Maybe not buddy-buddy, but you know them. You're familiar with them. You're aware. And in that regard, you kind of have a strong sense of them bullshitting. The Tom DeLonge, is it DeLonge or Tom from Blink-182? I've never heard his fucking takes on anything supernatural. Never heard his takes. Never. The only thing I've heard about him is people saying he believes in UFOs and Sasquatch, and he goes out and chases them down in the woods and shit like that. The only thing I've heard about Tom is other people saying, "Oh, have you heard this about Tom?" I've never heard an interview of his. Never. The only thing I've heard from him is his fucking music. So, I went and I tried to watch that podcast. I attempted, I failed, because he's very fucking difficult to listen to. You may be saying, W-Dog, I know what you're talking about, I'm experiencing it right now. He is so full of himself and so full of shit, just to the bone, 100% all the way fucking through. There's nothing he says, it doesn't matter what it is. He could be telling me, this gray shirt is gray, and I still wouldn't fucking believe him, Because why is that? He comes off as a fucking crazy person. There's something, whether it's like a tick or whatever the fuck, okay? There's certain actions that people do that if you're like me, you just don't want you want nothing to do with them, because it just seems they're either full of themselves or they're just so full of shit, right? And so what he was doing, for as long as I watched it, I didn't watch the whole thing because I didn't want to just, I didn't want my brain to melt. I'll read that after this real quick. He's very twitchy. He's very twitchy, and it seemed like he had difficulty speaking.